Hi, welcome back to the Algebra Solver. We are going to evaluate the expression 2ax minus z. That's it, 2ax minus z, given that a equals 3, x equals 6, and z equals negative 8. So we'll be using these numbers. So all you have to do is to plug in these variables and their values into the expression. And of course, you know that this here, 2ax, that means 2 times a times x. So these three variables are supposed to be multiplied, the three of them. And then of course there's operation there, subtraction operation. You subtract the value of the variable z. Again, I would like to emphasize that this is a mere expression. This is not an algebraic equation, 2ax minus z. And that when we are going to evaluate for the entire value of this expression, 2ax minus z, we're going to evaluate it. We're going to find the value of this expression if and only if a equals 3, x equals 6, and z equals negative 8. Because the moment you have a different value for a, for x and z, then the value of the expression will change. Okay, so this is if and only if a equals 3, x equals 6, and z equals negative 8. I would like to emphasize that because sometimes people are confused why we use this value for that, and then the next time there's another value. Okay, so a, x, and z are variables. Alright, so we're going to perform now the expression, or evaluate the expression. So you've got 2 there, and then we always use the parentheses to avoid any confusion. The more parentheses you use, actually the better, or the less mistakes you will make, the better for you to perform it without mistakes. Alright, so this is 2a. A is, again, is it clear? We'll put the 3 here, and then x multiplied by x. Okay, multiply by x. Again, there's another parenthesis. If the parentheses are beside each other, that means they are to be multiplied. X in this case is 6. Where did we get that 6? It's from here, and we substitute it. Okay, you can see it's there for the x. Sorry, that's the x there. Okay, so 2 times 3 times 6, that's actually 2ax. That's the value of a and x being substituted or plugged into the expression. And then minus z. Again, use as many parentheses as you can to isolate its variable, to isolate its term, so that you'll not be confused. In this case, minus z, you use a parenthesis, and we know that z is negative 8, so we put it here. That's negative 8. Now, have you noticed that this is a minus sign, this is a subtraction operation, and this is the sign of the number? Okay, now if we did not use a parenthesis, then you'll be having an expression like this, You have an expression like that, and it will be very confusing. So you put the parenthesis there. Okay. So I hope it's clearer now. So we're going to evaluate this expression here. Now, if you refer to our previous lessons, previous problems regarding working on integers, you would easily be able to evaluate this expression also, working with integers. And then you always remember the PEMDAS. First you do the parentheses as parentheses, and then exponents, and multiplication and division same level, addition and subtraction same level. Let's clean this up because you already know the PEMDAS by heart because you've been using it for so many times already. So if we simplify 2 times 3 times 6, that's 2 times 18, that's 36, right? That's 36 minus negative 8. Now, although we have discussed this so many times before, this is a subtraction. The rule for subtraction is you change the subtraction into an addition, and then you change the sign of the number following the operation. So this is the number following the operation. The sign is negative 8. So you change that to positive 8. Positive 8. And then next, proceed to addition. We have done this so many times before in other problems. So let's proceed. Let's solve this problem. That's 36 minus negative 8. So it will be 36. Now it becomes a plus. It becomes a plus negative 8 plus positive 8. That's already positive 8 because you have to change the sign. Remember, we have to change the sign here to positive, and you have to change the sign here also to positive. Because actually when you deduct a negative, it's actually adding a positive. When you have minus negative 8, you're actually adding positive 8. So a negative is a positive. A minus and negative. If you work through your number line again, you'll realize that when you add a negative number, when you subtract a negative number, that means you're actually adding a number. Alright, so that's just to remind you of the things we have discussed before. Let's not be confused about it. Okay, so 36 plus 8. What's 36 plus 8? Now I don't know. So 36 plus 8 is what? Is that 44? Is it 44? 36 plus 8 equals 44. Alright, so let's summarize what we have done. Okay, let's summarize what we have done. Let's see. Alright, let's summarize what we have done. The board is now clean. So 2ax minus z. And when we evaluate this, this becomes 2 times 3 times 6 minus negative 8, and we have already simplified that before. Comes out to 44. So therefore 2ax minus z equals 44 if and only if Again, remember this, if and only if this value here, this value is 44, if and only if a equals 3 and x equals 6 and z equals negative 8, and it will result, the expression will result into the number 44. So don't forget that, if and only if. Okay, so 2ax minus z, to summarize, equals 44. The values of a, x, and z are 3, 6, and negative 8 respectively, and that is our final answer. Again, we are slow, but the slower the better, because we are looking at students who are not very good in mathematics. We're looking at parents who have forgotten their algebra and who need to help their students with their homework. So thank you, and let's see you in the next problem.